Are you expecting and you're wondering how you're going to introduce your pet to your new baby? Well, in this video, our friend Dr. Alex from the Our Pets Health YouTube channel comes on to give us 7 strategies for how we could prepare your dog or cat for your new baby. So make sure you stick with us to the end. Hi, I'm Dan, and welcome to Parent Pacifier, where my wife Amanda and I help save you time and headaches with baby product reviews and parenting tip videos just like this one. So if you're new here, consider subscribing and hitting that bell icon so that you never miss a video. With that said, I've got a quick question for you. What pet do you have, and what concerns you the most about introducing them to your new baby? Let us know in the comments below. Dr. Alex, all yours.
Hi, so I'm Dr. Alex, and a big thanks to Dan for inviting me over to talk to you about how to reduce your pet's stress levels when you're introducing a new baby to the house. So I'm a vet, but I'm also a father of a couple of small kids, and I certainly know and remember firsthand how exciting but how stressful having a new baby in the house can be. And really, it's just the same for your pet. So stress can cause a really significant number of problems in your pet. It can cause problems urinating in inappropriate places. In cats, it can actually cause really severe cystitis, and that can be life-threatening in the case of male cats. Stress can cause destructive behaviour, and it can also cause aggression in some cases. So it's definitely something that we need to try and avoid at all possible. And today I want to give you 7 strategies of how to reduce your pet's stress levels, your dog and cat's stress levels, when it comes to introducing a new baby to the house. Okay, so my first tip to reduce stress levels is just getting your dog or cat used to the sounds of having a baby in the house. So the obvious one is crying, but other sounds like gurgling, kind of chatting away, that kind of thing are also very important. Ideally, if you're getting a puppy or a kitten and you know that you're wanting to have children or there's going to be a baby soon, then that's the time to socialize your pet to those sounds. So our young puppies and kittens, their brains are like sponges, and they just kind of soak up the sights and sounds and accept them as normal. So introducing your pet to other babies or playing the sounds of babies crying and those other noises on over some speakers can make a really big difference. What we do is we start off at low levels and then gradually increase the volume until, you know, they're potentially quite loud. So even if you've got an older dog who's never come across babies, that's also something that you should definitely consider doing. So you can find these sounds on the internet, just hit play, very low levels to start with, you know, so that you can hardly hear them, and then gradually over a number of weeks that you can just increase that volume so that your dog or your cat will get used to having those sounds in the house even without a baby being present. Okay, so my second step is to put up any baby furniture, make any changes to the house, get out any big baby toys that are going to be out all the time ahead of time, so before baby arrives. If you think of it, there's a lot of changes that go on in the house and in the environment at one time. And if we can actually just stretch that time period out, it can make our pets more likely to accept them. So when it comes to furniture, your cat will have time when it's just the furniture being present to kind of to scent that, to rub their cheek along it, which lets out a pheromone that kind of allows them to accept it. It marks it as theirs, and it will help them to relax. So if we're just making small changes at a time, then that will really help your pet to accept a baby when they arrive. Okay, so my third step is actually once baby arrives, and that is to try and give your pet treats or show them attention or play with them when the baby is present in the room or at times when they're crying. And the idea of this is that we want to try and get them associating the baby and the baby sounds with positive experiences rather than negative ones. So you can imagine if every time your baby cries, then you give them a treat or you play with them or your partner plays with them, then really they're going to, in a way, look forward to that happening. So we obviously need to be careful that we're not giving too many treats and making them really fat, but we're trying to associate a positive experience with the baby, even just being present in the room, not necessarily kind of interacting with your pet or making any particular noise. So just really associating a positive experience with your baby being there. Okay, my fourth step to reduce your pet's stress levels is a very important one, and that is to make sure your dog or your cat has a safe space that they can go to, that is their space and that they have access to all the time. So with your dog, it might be the gap between the wall and the back of the sofa, it might be their crate. With your cat, it might be a putting a bed for them underneath your bed, putting a bed for them on the top of the wardrobe, just somewhere where they can get away from it all, where they can retreat to, where they can always have access to. And we can also make these places a little bit quiet. So if in the case of your dog in their crate, you could drape a blanket over it, or you could drape a blanket down the back of the sofa. With your cat, again, it can be a place out of the way in a cupboard or something like that, somewhere that is dark, it's quiet, and also it's somewhere where they have constant access to. So there's nothing worse than having a safe space in a room where the door is always closed, because that's really going to be no benefit for your pet. But really, our pets, they do try and control their own stress levels, and having this safe space will just help them accept things and deal with any stress to a much greater degree. Okay, so step number 5 is just to spend some quality time with your pet. So if you've always taken them for a walk a couple of times a day, or if you've always played with your cat when you come home, then try and keep those up as much as possible. Try and spend some quality time with your pet. After all, they are part of our family as well, and they are very important. That relationship that you have with them is very important. We're all creatures of habit, and our pets are no different as well. So if we can try and kind of maintain that routine, or if we can't, at least try and allocate a period of time every day where we just spend some time, you and them, just hanging out, just going for a walk or something like that, that can really help. When it comes to our dogs as well, going for a walk, we know that walking and exercise reduces dog stress levels. Obviously, it's also good for them from a weight point of view, from a mental stimulation point of view, and it's also good for us to get out and about. So if we can all get out, take the pram, take your dog, go to the park, it will be good for your mental well-being as well as our dogs. Okay, my 6th step is probably more for when your baby grows up a little bit, and that's to teach them from an early age how to behave around your pet. So, we don't want them grabbing, we don't want them pulling tails, hanging off ears, that kind of thing. We don't want them trying to take food away from your pet when they're eating, or when they're carrying their favorite toy or a chew around. We really need to teach our children to respect our dog's possession, our cat's possessions, and their food, because that's often a real source of conflict. It's amazing what our pets will put up with. I know from personal experience, my daughter kind of picking up both cats, carrying them underneath her arm, and they would just dangle there quite happily. But she also pushed things too far sometimes, and the potential for getting scratched or bitten is definitely there. So we definitely want to avoid that. Oftentimes it's actually not our pet's fault. They were goaded into it, and we weren't reading the warning signs that they were giving. But if we teach our children from an early age how to behave around animals, then that will really help to reduce your pet's stress levels. Okay, and step number 7 is to use additional aids if necessary. And by this I mean, if you've got a dog or a cat who is particularly stressed, if they are easily stressed by different situations, by changes in their environment or routine, then there are things that we can give them to help them cope. One of the most common and most popular is pheromone treatment. So it's Fellaway in the case of cats, and Adaptil in the case of dogs. And what these are is kind of plug-in diffusers. They look a little bit like plug-in air fresheners. Dogs, they also have a collar version of this, and that releases natural pheromones into the environment that really help calm our pets, help them feel at home, and help them feel much more settled. So that's definitely something to consider as well. And much like kind of the earlier tips, it's something that you can start a few days before you bring baby home, and each diffuser lasts about a month. It's something that you might only need a month's worth. You might then need a couple of months, and that can really make all the difference, especially for our nervous pets, to help them feel settled and more relaxed. It's something that also can work very well in other periods of stress, so around firework time, or if you're having building work. So there are definitely things that we can do for our stressed pets, regardless of what that cause of stress is. So big thanks to Dan again for inviting me to come and talk to you. I hope these tips help to reduce your pet stress levels, and at the same time reduce your stress levels in a small way when it comes to bringing a baby into the house. It's a really exciting time, and if we can do all these things, it's one less thing to worry about, and we can focus on what really matters, and that's our baby. So if you're interested in more videos all about keeping your pet healthy and happy, then make sure you head over to my YouTube channel, Our Pets Health, and until then, take care.
So if this was helpful, why don't you hit that like button and then check out a video from Our Pets Health or another one from Parent Pacifier. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.